Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Today we're talking about Rick and Morty Season 4, Episode 2, The Old Man in the Seat. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is
Jelani, Bullard.
This is
Brooks.
The magnificent he is, and thank you for checking out the video. We'll be talking about the second episode of Season 4 of Rick and Morty, The Old Man and the Seat, which apparently is, of course, is it an Ernest Hemingway story, The Old Man and the Sea, or something like that. So spoiler-filled, if you haven't checked out the episode and don't want it spoiled, don't watch the rest of this video. Like most episodes of Rick and Morty, I absolutely loved it, guys. I thought it was great. And one of my favorite things about Rick and Morty is that it seems like it's just this really crude, irreverent, silly show, right? That's hilarious. And it is. But it also is a very poignant, nuanced, and thematically rich show. And this is one of those episodes that really highlights that, especially with what it's saying about a lot of the different characters, in particular Rick. I absolutely loved this episode. I thought it was great. It's nice to have some of the guest appearances by Taika Waititi and Sam Neill and Kathleen Turner and Jeffrey Wright. So that was really, really fun. Jelani, overall, what'd you think of the episode?
I love this episode. I mean, it shows a different side of Rick on so many levels because, like, he is a mean, gruff guy and he does so many evil things that are cool to us. But, like, they are kind of evil. But they're not cool to us. We just think it's funny.
We
just think it's funny because
it's
what
fictional.
He's doing. But it's fun. But Rick, it shows a weakness or a softer side to Rick, I should say. Yeah. And getting that and the way that the app is created, Taika Waititi's little intern
Glooby, whatever it is, or something like that. Oh my goodness, I love that was, man.
Has he ever done that before?
I don't think he has. But the way it's set up, I think it's about relationships too, and how relationships play out, and how apparently you can get as many soulmates as you want
to the app. Hey man, do you want to develop an app with me? Brooks, overall, what did you think about this
I thought
episode?
it was pretty good. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorites, but I like it a lot.
Okay. Yeah. So the main story, of course, is about Rick having this special private toilet that's like on this like magical.
It's like everything has to be super elaborate with Rick. It's like you can't just have like a hidden toilet somewhere. He has to have like a hidden toilet in a paradise with like a waterfall to wash his hands and shit.
Little floating platforms up to it, and it just seems like the most magical place.
It is.
And it's
like a huge mountain.
Yeah, right.
With like a crystal in the center.
Beautiful clouds, and it's just beautiful colors. You know, and the animation.
Serene.
The animation in this show is in particular just amazing. But this episode, in particular, really highlights some of the different vibrant colors and the animation and all that stuff. I absolutely loved that story. The dude who uses the toilet. So this dude uses Rick's toilet, and Rick's trying to hunt him down and basically make him pay and prove to him that he's lonely and this and that, and then it all comes full circle at the end, and the dude winds up actually dying, and Rick can't admit that he's actually developing some kind of emotional attachment to this dude, and all the ways that Rick emotionally detaches himself from people, including putting them in bags of fluid and letting them live out their fantasy world. What? It's like, yeah. And so at the end, he makes this elaborate things like, I'll let him use my toilet, but I'll be all the different holograms, and now they're screaming at him. And like, that's why I love this episode so much, is because it's hilarious. It's ridiculous. But man, when it hits that moment, like you said, right after we watch it, you're like, it's sad.
Yeah. It feels like, I'm laughing this whole time, and that undercurrent is like, oh man, Rick lost a friend.
Yeah.
He gained a friend over a rivalry over a toilet. Yeah. And
perfectly played by Jeffrey Wright. Handled it so well and just so honest and sincere with his delivery. I love it. You like that storyline, man, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like when they kind of, end on the downer, because, it's very, nothing's, it doesn't, it kind of feels like at times that there's no stakes to Rick and Morty because everything's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then they'll hit you with something that kind of makes you think a little bit, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and life, that's what life is, a series of down endings.
Yeah.
And that's why Empire's the best Star Wars movie in the original trilogy.
Jedi's just a bunch of Muppets.
Jedi's just a bunch of Muppets. You know, PCP, we've been plagiarizing Kevin Smith way before we even started this stuff.
Way before we started doing this.
Another one of the stories, of course, is the little alien dude that is Rick's intern, and of course he's got tattooed on his forehead, "Do not help develop an app."
So what does Jerry do?
So of course Jerry helps him develop an app, and that's real fun. And like Jerry is the most ridiculous, dumb character.
He's a loser.
And he's got an innocence to him. You know, we were talking about Kevin Smith. Like, one of the reasons why Jay works in the duo that is Jay and Silent Bob is because even though he's kind of a trash dude at times, like, he's got this innocence about him. Jerry has that innocence, but it's still obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't want him off the show. I love him.
Not at all.
Jerry's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Jerry is great.
So he helps him develop this app, which scans people's faces, matches them up with the soulmates. It goes crazy. It gets nutso. That gets involved with Summer and her mother in another story.
It's also these aliens can get all of our water.
Yeah, so they can get all of our water. It's Sam Neill and Kathleen Turner are the...
It's kind of like a Spaceballs situation.
It is a little bit like space. And there's a lot of Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
like
a lot
the Ed
of
Norton Incredible Hulk, where Summer and what's the mother's name again? I can't remember.
Beth.
Summer and Beth are like fighting in that tunnel or whatever. Yeah. And then there's at the end when Jerry in the post credit scene, like you were mentioning that. You found that out on like another YouTube video.
That's insane. Yeah. It's like it was shot for shot. Stan Lee looking into the refrigerator in his cameo for Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So Jerry has that same scene where he finds the Globofol, that miracle juice that you drink for your personal heaven.
Yeah.
And he drinks it and he finds out that
he's just a water deliverer. He's like, just doing my job, man. Yeah. But their whole adventure, Jerry and Morty go off, and Morty's really starting to become more and more like Rick.
Yep.
You know, cynical. And that's something that's happening. He's getting cynical. He knows what to do. And who knows how many Mortys Rick has actually gone through, right? You know?
He's done a lot.
Yeah. He's got I think, doesn't he still have a coupon for a free Morty?
Yeah.
He's got it tucked away somewhere, right? Yeah. But that whole story is great. But another really big, crucial moment to a relationship in Rick and Morty is the moment where Morty tells Jerry straight up,
"You're a loser.
You're a loser." You know, he's like, "There's nothing else." Like, oh my god, I love that whole dynamic. What do you think of that storyline?
Yeah, I think it was very, you know, kind of in the it was the background storyline. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was, you know, I like Jerry, and it was fun to see him and Morty go on, you know, kind of their own little adventure.
Yeah,
like, you know, let's see how, like, because Morty's usually the one who's like getting on Rick's case and making Rick all irritable. But like in this case, it's like, you know, Morty's the Rick.
Yeah.
Jerry's the Morty.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's real fun. You see him step into that role. You like that storyline?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. I like different dynamics in that show and the way they pitted them. I was glad Jerry was
the Beth and Summer story was
actually Then we get the Beth and Summer story where Summer is doing this app that Jerry's helped develop that's going to end the world, and so she's going from soulmate to soulmate. It's ridiculous.
And like Beth is just with you, just shows up like out of nowhere.
Like out of nowhere.
I'm in love. My favorite one is like, "I quit, I'm gay, and I'm in love with Xander." I loved it.
It would have been funny if they'd have had like Xander from Buffy with like the eye patch show.
Oh man, that would have been too. Come on, we don't need
that. That was just the first thing.
The only Xander, you know. That would have been neat, actually. But yeah, the Beth of Summer. So then Beth is just like all mothered out in this one, you know, and I've been watching Castle Rock season 2, so it's like, you know, and it's like, she gets intense, man. They like get in that big fight. They're the Hulk, and that's the Hulk fight, you know.
I'm gonna mother you to death.
Yeah, right. I loved it, man. What'd you think about that story over there?
Man, I love that story. Well, I love all three, but this one was the funniest to me, just because like they're Summer's finding love. Just out of the blue, I liked it when the couple when they had the baby and they ran off and like left the baby. What do I do? And then they came back and did it again.
Yeah,
it's like it's recurring jokes, man. It's just stuff like that that makes you. Oh man, I love this show. I love all the characters. This is the first episode in a while where it shows all the main family actually really doing things together when it's not just Rick and Morty.
And pretty much having equal opportunity on the screen.
And I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. So let's get to the rating. Out of 5 possible you digs, what do you give The Old Man in the Seat from Rick and Morty, Jelani?
I'll give it a 4.5.
4.5. Explain.
I liked it. I'm gonna watch it again. There's so much in it. It's rich. Like, it gives everyone equal time. It shows a softer side of Rick that you don't really get in these episodes. You get him from time to time. I know that he's human under all that science, and it makes me feel like he can be a better person, but he chooses not to be.
Yeah, and there's a reason.
And there's a reason
what's
for
the
it.
point?
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
but something drove him to that, and that's one thing that old voodoo poo-poo daddy was trying to get to admit was like,
right.
My wife died. I don't know, but something happened to you too. Like,
right.
They're in the same boat. They're both shy poopers. But then to be able to take the absurd idea that shy pooping is somehow psychologically relevant to the story, and it makes sense, and I don't know, I really like it. Out of 5 possible you digs, what do you give it? Brooks?
I give it a 4.
4.
Yeah.
4 solid. What do you explain, elaborate?
Well, it's good. It's Rick and Morty, but, in the, out of all the episodes I've watched, I wouldn't say it was, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But, it is still, a good solid episode. It's got a lot of laughs, and it makes you think,
Yeah.
It's a good Rick and Morty.
Heck yeah. 4.5, 4. I'm with Jelani, 4.5. I thought it was one. They're all great. I don't really have a bad episode of Rick and Morty, in my opinion, that I can think of. But this was one that I really, really liked. I really liked the statement that it was making about the character Rick and the character relationships between Jerry and Morty, and of course Beth and Summer. Really liked it. Thought it was super fun. Great guest stars that really were very comedic. Taika Waititi was absolutely hilarious.
That guy, it's like I think he's like, oh, I'll just do this joke character in this Thor Ragnarok movie I'm doing. And then that'll be that. And then, all of a sudden, everybody's like, hey, can I get your voice? Can I get your voice?
Let me get your voice. When you help us develop an app. Anyway, that's what we thought about it. So 4.5 for 4.0 for an average of 4.33967439 Barton Fink. Interesting how that came up in the calculation.
We don't do math here.
We do. We do alternative math here. Anyway. Let us know what you think and how many you digs out of 5 you give Rick and Morty Season 4, Episode 2, The Old Man in the Seat, in the comments down below, and just what you think of the show in general. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. This is
Jelani Bullard.
This is
Brooks.
And we are Pop Culture Philosophers. Check us out at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. You dig?